I'd like to call the town board meeting of the town of Lake Mills to order. It is December 10th, 2019. It's close to 8 p.m. The meeting was posted at the town hall and also on the town's website. Item 2 on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to adopt December's agenda as printed.
Second.
Is there any discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the agenda as published, please say aye. Aye. And all opposed, the same sign. Item 3, approval of the minutes.
Put them all three at once? Or?
We can, as long as you state that it's for all three.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the public hearing that was held. A special meeting of the electors that was held last month, and the town board meeting that was held last month.
I will second it.
Is there any discussion on the motion to approve the November 12th, 2019 minutes? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the minutes as written, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, the same sign. Minutes are approved. Item 4, approval of the treasurer's report. I will motion to approve the December 2019 treasurer's report.
Second.
Is there any discussion or questions?
Yeah, I would like to talk about the $250,000 that we got from Daybreak for the overhead privilege. I think that we should take that money and put it into a one-year CD.
Well, that's a really good idea, Dave. What do you suppose that CD is going to yield?
I don't know.
1%.
Yeah, maybe two.
But at
maybe.
least it's there.
I guess I feel the same way. I don't think it should be listed as Daybreak Foods. It should be listed as Crossman Road. And I think we should do something to invest it.
Yeah, because I think it should be put someplace that we can't get our hands on it until that.
All right, and so do you want to make a motion to that effect, Dave?
I would like to make a motion for the $250,000 we received from Daybreak Foods for the overhead privilege to be put into a one-year CD.
Second.
Is there any discussion on that? Hearing none. All in favor of approving that, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and all opposed, the same sign. That makes sense. Now, I would motion again to approve the December 2019 treasurer's report.
I will second it again.
Is there any discussion on that? Hearing none. All in favor of approving the treasurer's report with the correction, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and all opposed, the same sign. So Sharon, thank you very much for doing that. Thank you for depositing that check. Please make the correction that that is a Crossman Road Reserve.
Okay.
And you can make that transaction at the BLM.
Right.
And if you need any support for that, you know how to handle that.
Okay.
Super.
All right, that's good. Thank you very much, David. Let's move on to the approval of the general fund vouching.
I'll make a motion to approve December's disbursements of $477,374.52.
Second that motion.
Are there any questions or discussion on the disbursements?
Question, Sherwood Hills and Airport Road, Northwest Services, $6,588.54. What was that for? For the what?
Manhole covers? I mean, I don't have the paperwork in front of me, but
Oh.
is that what that'd be for?
The manhole covers and also the work that we did at the Ginterberg's Drive
Okay.
and rip wrapping along the culverts on that south side of the road. Any other questions or discussion? You want to look at the invoice? I'm sure that these ladies.
No, I was
will
just
help you.
curious because I know last month there was like a $6,000 for a driveway on Airport Road, and I didn't know what else was being done here.
We can look at that invoice after
Nope,
the meeting.
that's fine.
All right, any other questions or discussion?
Nope.
Hearing none, all in approval all in favor of approving the general fund vouching for December, please say aye. Aye, and all opposed, the same sign. Vouching is carried. Item 6, the police report. Chief Miller.
Let me see, for the month of November, we had 28 hours of road patrol, handled 2 complaints, spent 5.5 hours investigating those complaints. Had 1 arrest that we took a person to jail. Did 11 traffic stops, 2 repair notices, 3 warnings, 8 citations, 6.5 hours of stationary radar, 1 res check and 5 park checks. The guys have been kind of hauled down a little bit because I don't want to go over budget, because we're coming to the end of the year. So their hours were curtailed a little bit that month. We have an opportunity to receive a free defib. Dave's here from Lake Mills EMS. He's aware of that, the organization they belong to are handing out free defibs. We bought one unfortunately last year,
Yeah.
but I figured we'd take a second one. Dave's gonna make a call for me. And I think we should probably put one of them in the town hall. So if we can get a free one, we might as well take one. I'll be on vacation December 29th through January 19th, where I'll be out of the state and out of the country for that time period. And I'll send a text message out. One of the sergeants will be in charge and be at that next board meeting in January, which is good for them to show up anyways. Other than that, that's about it. Oh, I did make a phone call again to the guy for that storage, and I can't get a hold of him. I called again tonight. I'll continue to call. Sandy Beach Road here for an alternate location for our squad and possibly boat.
Who is that man?
George is his first name. I don't know his last name.
Well, let's keep pursuing that, okay?
My boat's parked there, so I should ask my wife what's his last name. She writes a check out to him every year.
Let's, keep pursuing that.
Yeah,
okay?
I'm gonna continue to call.
Great. Anything else for Matt? You're coming back when, Matt?
January 19th, December 29th to January 19th.
Well, I'm hoping you're having a good time, thanks.
Be on a Caribbean cruise, so.
Darn.
And visiting relatives.
All right, enjoy yourself, thank you.
Yep.
Thanks for your service and thank your staff too. Item B, Joint Rock Lake Committee report. I guess, what do we have to report? Oh, I know. Clean Boats, Clean Waters grant went in. We'll wait to hear from that. We heard a very interesting and comprehensive explanation of where our fishery is at here on Rock Lake. And I thought I'd just mention a couple things. We had, I can't remember what his name was. He was really very excellent as far as a speaker.
Was it Todd?
From the Horicon office of the Department of Natural Resources, and he showed to us the fish shocking results from 2008 and 2014 and told us that next year Rock Lake and Lake Ripley will be under a special distinction of Sentinel Lakes, getting a little more attention. So we should have some real interesting fish survey results a year after they complete that. They are stocking some larger fingerling walleyes in our lake, and they are seeing some success with that. Overall, though, I think that general mood of the night was that the walleye production is increasing, not at a huge level, but it's still maintaining naturally in our fishery. Northern pike and the bass are doing well. And there was a lot of discussion about panfish, and the word that I was surprised by was exploitation. They feel that our bag limits on Rock Lake are pretty high for panfish, and they think our lake is being overfished. But I thought that was real interesting, and I think we will hear more now in the next year or so about the fish population, because they're going to be focusing on, are they really getting results from the stocking that they're doing? So that was a very interesting discussion. I wish I'd known he was going to be there. I think we could have easily had it taped. It would have been interesting. But I think someone will write a recap, and we'll probably get that to the leader. So that's kind of where the Joint Rock Lake Committee is at for this winter month. Item C, the Planning Commission report. Supervisor Hines.
We didn't meet December or November or October now. December or November, I'm sorry.
Okay, moving on. Item D, the Cambridge Fire Commission.
Met on December 4th. To start our meeting off, we had 3 different companies come in. CG Schmidt of Madison, MSI General of Neosha, and Keller of Kakana, giving us building concept bids and ideas. And we hired Keller of Kakana to do it. They came in the cheapest to get started at $1,500. So everybody else wanted 30 or 50,000 to get started. So obviously they all work off a contingency once this thing all gets put together. But Keller, they are a design team, a build team, and they also will help us through the, we're looking into a USDA Rural Development Grant Loan Program, and then they will be helping us through the referendum. So Devin from Keller will probably be in sometime late spring, early summer to address the board on tactics and some of the things we're looking at doing. We started this really early because this process is probably going to take 2 to 3 years, and hopefully by the time we get all of our ducks in a row, it could be going possibly to referendum in about 2 years or so, but that's all yet to be put together. So anyway, financial report, we're doing pretty well. We have $125,796 available in the checkbook as of November 30th. So it looks like we are going to end up with some cash to apply to our reserve accounts to balance everything else, which is going to be kind of interesting because we haven't been able to do that for a couple of 3 years. So EMS side, we have been on the 5-year rotation with Wanakee on their ambulances, and they will be getting 2 new ambulances in the middle of the summer. So they had told us what they wanted for it. We made an offer, which they accepted, which I'm not gonna tell you exactly what that is just yet. So the director and I are going to be going up to Wanakee next week, and we're going to be kicking the tires on these 2. They are F-450 ambulances. So anyway, that's kind of that on that. And then as far as the, we put in 2 grants, actually 3 grants to the Cambridge Foundation, a $15,000 ambulance changeover grant. So if we're successful in purchasing these 2 ambulances, we would need a little bit to help change over cots and all that stuff. $30,000 for next year's fire truck payment, because we had $84,000 that was granted to us from the Cambridge Foundation towards the fire truck. The payment for that in February is going to be $51,000, so that would leave us about $30,000 short of making our 2020 payment, so our 2021 payment. So hopefully if we get that grant, then that would be a bonus to all the municipalities, so that we won't have to come up with that payment in 2021. On the fire side, the engine 1 was delivered on the 28th of November. It's going to be going into service on December 14th. And our cost was $612,903. And then the inspection was $8,038. And then the final inspection charges were $7,822 for a total cost of $628,763. So out of that, $250,000 came from municipalities towards it. We leased the cost of $227,000. The fire commission truck reserve was $46,937. Fundraisers from the Cambridge Fire Department and the Friends of the Fire Department was $97,630. And the fire department, they donated $7,196 to the fire truck for a total of 763. So, that's it.
Been busy.
Yeah, every one of those guys that came in were 45-minute times.
Yeah.
You realize it was 11:15 when we got out of there?
Oh, jeez, thank you, David.
And that
for your
wasn't in the
service.
morning either.
Thank you for your service on the Cambridge Fire and EMS Commission. Item 7, a period of public comment and questions. This is for you in the audience. If there is anyone here who would like to make public comment or question, now is the time. Hi, Dave. Tell us who you are and what you're about.
Dave Sewell, Lake Mills EMS Service Director, just here to give you a short a version of the EMS for the year 2019. I'll be doing that for all the surrounding areas. Basically, there were 57 runs that were done in your area, a little bit less than what there was last year. The number may be a little bit off because I didn't include all the freeway. You guys have at least 11 incidents on the freeway alone, just in your jurisdiction, that we responded to. The biggest amount of calls was in the month of September. Otherwise, it was pretty much the same, usually 4 or 5 runs a month. But there were a lot in September and a lot in January. That's basically about it in a nutshell. Is there any questions for you guys?
Response time out the door, where do you guys set?
We're actually very good. We have POPs, or paid on premises personnel, ready to go now pretty much 6 and 7 days a week.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and have been for probably a year and a half now, so we have excellent response times. Our second unit, I can't guarantee during the day,
Right.
the business day that is, but at nighttime, we're still very good with that.
Sure. Great.
Any other question?
No, thanks for coming. Appreciate it. And thank you for returning the Wisconsin cage-free materials. Appreciate that. Anyone else like to speak to the board tonight? Hearing none, we'll move on to item 8. Well, I guess we're going to move right on to item 10. There are no applications for review and there is no old business. We have lots of new business. Item 10, new business. A, discussion and decision on snow fence installation 2019-20. I think we kind of missed it.
There you go.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Anybody feel real strongly about it? I'm sure Ron would go out and pound it in, but it's
No.
pretty cold now.
Yeah. I see the county really hasn't done much either. So they busy or decide not to do it?
We're just not getting any snow this year. We're writing it
I'm
off.
good with that.
Okay,
Perfect.
thank you. Moving right on. To item B, discussion and decision on repair work of the North End Pier. Well, it came to my attention, I don't know, maybe I got a fairy in my pocket. I don't know. Came to my attention that when the pier was removed at the north end, that it was in pretty bad shape. I don't know what I did with my cost sheet now. Share. Anyway, I was approached by Kevin Weissman of the Jefferson County Parks Department, and he said, I'd like to come over and roll it over and see what's going on. And so when it was pulled out, they came over and we rolled it over, and it weighed about 2 million pounds. It seems that almost every single one of those floats has been punctured and is full of water. So Kevin went back to the shop and got the highway department's end loader and loaded one end of it up, one section of it up, and took it back. He is willing to do the labor to replace not only the wood decking, but the floats and the rubberized edging. You have this all in front of you. We met that day with Lance Stock from the Department of Natural Resources, Kevin and I and his Parks Department helpers. Lance has been observing our pier over the course of the last year. He was asserting the fact that he thought it had fallen out of compliance for ADA accessibility. And I said, well, that was early in the spring when he was looking at it. I said, why don't you wait until the water comes up and we can really see if it is not functioning. Well, of course, with those floats all full of water, it is sitting pretty low in the water. So what we're looking at is some repair work here, and Kevin there are 4 sections of the pier. There are 2 approach type sections and 2 floating sections. And so to replace the wood decking with treated wood on all sections, it would cost us about $1,000. Lance was advocating that we use a composite decking to replace that, which like quadruples the number, would be $4,000. Kevin's been looking at the floats. They're $165 a piece. And then there is rubberized edging that he would suggest that we put on there. A possible cost of about $750 for the hardware too. I guess I'd like to continue to work with him on this. He's quoted here in this information that each one of those sections, if we were to buy new, would cost us about $16,000 a piece. With way less than half of that, we can have them refurbished and have the county parks department do that this winter.
So this price is for each section? Or
No, it's all together.
For everything?
Here it is. So it's $1,000 for the wood.
For all 4?
Says replace wood decking.
Okay, on all, okay.
I'm not exactly sure either.
Because it says if it's $16,000 each section, down below.
That'd be for new, right?
Brand new.
Yeah,
Brand
that's
new.
new.
Brand new.
Yeah.
Yeah, but,
But I think we could easily have, I was looking at it this way. I was looking at $1,000 for each section. I sort of ruled out the composite decking. Even though we would have absolutely no maintenance on it, I'm not sure it would hold up any better than the wood. It would also require us to do some modifications to the aluminum structure, which I just don't think is worth it. Replacing the floats, there are 20 of them, that's $3,300. And the rubberized edging, 10 by 10, I just don't think he's got the numbers completely right here.
yeah, it's only 100 feet.
But regardless, I think that what we should allow him to do is to go forward. I guess I'd like to see some better numbers. But I think we should allow him to go forward and replace those floats and get going on this so that they, number one, have a project in their shop this winter, and we partner well with them and get this fixed before the coming season.
What is wrong with the floats? They just have holes in them, they have cracks in them?
Yeah, they're all cracked, either that or bruised and damaged, and they've just simply filled up with water. We still need to go and talk to Bob Steigerwald and see what he did when he welded them.
I'm just wondering that, once, if they've hit their useful life and it just continues, we have lots of Rock Lake money.
Yeah, I know that. That's why I'm jumping at this.
You don't want to be wasteful, but, is this thing gonna die me to death? We've never really stuck a lot of money into them.
No, and if we were to go forward and say we were out of compliance with ADA requirements, we could apply for a new pier, but I think that would be very wasteful because there really is nothing wrong with the superstructure of the pier.
The ADA portion is just the slope of the ramp, right?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay,
So
so
that's why it slipped below that, because it's just not holding,
it just got steeper,
it's not floating.
right?
It's sinking. It's in really bad shape. I was a little surprised when he rolled it over.
Okay.
I think I'd like to have him go ahead and give us some better numbers. I think he should get the floats ordered and get going on it and give us some better numbers to look at in January. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
It's the cheapest way to go.
All right, I think that
And we're
is,
going with wood?
yes, don't you think? I just don't think the cost is worthy, from $1,000 to $4,000 for the composite.
No,
And the
that
way
would-
that pier shows wear, I'm just not sure it's worth it.
Okay.
Okay, so the decision is, we're gonna go ahead and give the Parks Department permission to start looking at replacing the floats, come back to us with some better numbers, and let us know in early January where we're at. How's that?
And I'll make that a motion.
I'm making a motion.
Okay, second.
You wanna rewrite that motion?
No,
Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of approving the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and all opposed, the same sign. Thank you, gentlemen. Items, I think, like I said, I think that was kind of a Christmas gift. I don't know where I would go to find anybody to fix that pier.
Yeah.
Surprised that he was wanting to be helpful. Item C, discussion and decision on the 2021 appointed election officials.
okay. So we have to reappoint our election officials, and we do have one individual here tonight. Carol Hesse is here with us. So they are Lori Lawrence, Carl Glassford, Margaret Hannerhan, Corinne Magnoni, Jennifer Popowski, Jennifer Breaker, Chris Bone, Linda Zwicker, Jerry Schultz, Sarah Mukta, Carol Hesse, Sue Dell, Linda Lira, Karen Johnson, Jen, help me with the last name on this one, Dino Gertz,
Gertz, sounds good to me.
Sarah Fitzgibbon, and possibly Jeannie Taylor.
I would motion to approve these appointed election officials for 2021.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of appointing the election officials for this year, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and all opposed, the same sign.
Okay.
And thanks to each one of you for volunteering. We will have a very busy election year.
Yep, and I'll be in contact with them for more training, and kind of just a sit down at the beginning of the year and recap what we're gonna be doing for the year. It's gonna be busy, so.
Okay. Item D, discussion and decision on 2020 contribution to the Jefferson County Clean Sweep Program. See, you have the contribution sheet here. They have somebody new in charge, huh?
It did come up kind of late this year.
We have traditionally done what, $1,000?
I think that was 1,000 on the budget. Just take a look here.
Budgeted.
There's always kind of a habit of fee,
Did they get to it with that?
Yes, 1,000 is what we budgeted for.
How do you feel about that, guys?
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
That's what we did. I would make a motion that we contribute $1,000 to the Jefferson County Clean Sweep Program.
Second.
All right, is there any discussion on that? Just the discussion we had earlier about trying to find somebody to recycle electronics, and Robin and I will work on that. Maybe we can pull something together this spring. So is motion on the floor, all in favor of
Need a
approving?
second yet? Unless
Yeah, I
missed
did.
it.
Jim made
I
the
did.
second.
Okay, thank you.
All in favor of approving the Jefferson County Clean Sweep contribution, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and all opposed, the same sign. Item E, discussion and decision on the 2020 Town Advocacy Council membership. Robin asked me if we had participated in this in the past, and I said yes. This used to be the Urban Towns Association.
Okay.
This is the arm of the Wisconsin Towns Association that does lobbying with our legislature, sponsors a Capitol Day, the Local Government Institute, legislative listening, and other educational things. I would motion that we continue to support the Towns Advocacy Council per capita.
It's $527, right?
Yeah.
I'll second that motion.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Item F, discussion and decision on the resolution for an update to the town's fee schedule. This is something we've been kicking around for a couple weeks, months. Robin has put together a resolution.
The resolution actually covers two items that are on the agenda. It covers the update to the fee schedule as well as allowing the building inspector to collect fees for the town that are not regular building inspection fees, but it would be for the cost of the fire sign installation for new homes.
So the building inspector right now collects the building,
Only
Permit
building
fees?
permit fees.
okay, so this is gonna allow him to collect for the signs.
Right, he needs
other-
something that he can turn into his office stating that he's gonna do this additional fee for us.
Okay.
And it's no extra cost to us for him to do that.
Collect the fire signs and the post at install of a new house.
Okay,
Now, in the fee
And then-
schedule, the ones highlighted in yellow are the ones that we need to decide on what we're gonna have the amount of.
okay, so can we start going down this fee
Yep.
schedule?
Okay.
First off, the chief, I thought they asked for $21 and the patrol officers were 20.
21 now?
correct.
You know what, you're right.
Where are you at?
First
First
page,
First page,
so we gotta
bottom,
update the wages.
the wages, and it's just, isn't it just chief and sergeant 21 and patrol officers 20?
Correct.
Same both, for both road patrol and boat patrol. So I don't know where this other,
And this is probably an older copy.
Okay,
This is
so-
what was in the computer, so
it just needs to be those two items.
21 for chief and
Sergeant.
20 for sergeant.
No, no.
No.
Chief and sergeant were 21,
Got it.
patrol officers were 20,
Correct.
for both road and boat patrol. That's all it has to say. Doesn't have
Okay.
this other stuff. Second page, you had $10 highlighted. That's Robin's.
And the $10 that is highlighted is for the
Did you change that?
special assessment letter. Is that the one you're looking at?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, assessment reports and fees for duplicate tax bills. I don't know, you had it highlighted, I didn't,
Okay,
or
It's
did
on
I?
page 10 of 10.
Maybe I did, sorry.
sorry.
I might have. Is that is that gonna cover it, $10? Can we
One
go?
that I meant to highlight on yours, if this is the incorrect one, is the $10 one for the special assessment letter under miscellaneous charges, right at the bottom on page 1010. Which page are you on, Jim?
I'm just on page 2. I might have highlighted it, Robin. I went through
Okay,
this and
okay.
highlighted my items to talk about, so. That was one I wanted to talk about, I guess.
Okay, so we're on page 2 of 10.
Yeah,
Wait.
line 24, whatever that is. You have $10 plus postage per property request.
Of
I was
10.
just wondering if $10 was adequate.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Assessment reports and duplicate tax bill copy and processing cost.
I think we should raise it because we haven't raised it for a while.
Right.
And I don't know if you're doing this more often.
Do we want to have the assessment, because the assessment reports probably refers to the special assessment letters, which I
Right.
added towards the end of this fee schedule. Should we make this only for the duplicate tax bill copy? And have
Yeah.
a fee for that, and then have a separate fee for the assessment reports? Because they're two different processes.
It's up to you guys. You deal with this, I don't.
Okay, that was easy to decide. So $20 for each, the assessment report and a $20 fee for a duplicate tax bill.
Jen, think that's
Sure.
fair?
That was
Okay.
easy, that was very easy. Those
Okay.
are easy.
Page 3 then, I guess those liquor licenses are all set by statute, and we're pretty much at the maximum now.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
double checked
so-
all that.
Yeah, I checked it too.
Okay.
The only one that was different was the manager's license, but I don't know, that was $25. I don't know if there was a cap on that, or why that isn't at least 30, the same as an operator's license.
Yeah.
I was thinking that should be 50, and I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I don't know if statutes should,
Well, I think the statute allows $50 for every 2 years.
well, we're higher on operators' licenses.
Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
60.
Well, let's change the manager's license to 30
Yeah.
Make them the same.
and make them the same.
Okay.
Okay,
What else we
Then,
have?
can we deal with these mobile home fees, or not?
Yeah, I tried to find some information on that, if that's something that we can increase or not. I wasn't having much luck finding specific language that would allow us to change that fee. But that also means that if there's no specific language limiting it, that
Right.
may allow us to.
Well, I just think it's pretty low. It's probably never been raised. We're looking to get revenue.
Yep,
So I was thinking maybe we double those,
up to
every
10.
one of them.
Yeah.
Lines 54 through 58.
Okay,
So it'd be 10, 100, $100 per space, and $200 for late fees.
so say it again.
so first one.
The first one would be $10 per year for the license fee per space. Transfer of license would be $100. Bond of construction of new mobile home park, which you probably never have, but that would be $100 per space. And that's just a bond, so. And then late fees would be $200.
Feel better? Lots better.
Well, we're looking for revenue, aren't we? And I don't know about this fourth page, soda license, those set by statute? I couldn't find them either.
That one's a municipal,
Pardon?
that's a municipal license, that's not a state.
Okay.
A lot of municipalities have actually just done away with that one.
Yeah.
We'll squeeze that one too tight.
And I think tobacco license is state
Yeah.
regulated at
It's
$5.
state
Is it?
regulated.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so what about auction? Those can't be regulated by state, I don't think.
I don't think I've ever issued an auction license since we've been here.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't know you had to have one.
How many auctions have been going on?
I don't even know if, well, apparently we have an ordinance on it, 242, so. Anyway, I would go $50 on that, just in case someday somebody pays one.
Yeah, an
Got
auction
it.
this year.
Pardon?
It was an auction this year
I know, we have them,
on
but,
Park Lane.
Okay.
the transients, merchants, and solicitors. As high as we can go on those.
Yeah, it's really not laid out very well.
Well, it reads fine when it's in the book, right?
Yeah.
$75 per permit, that's to allow people to go around and sell door to door, right?
Right, and the $75 covers the background check costs, the cost for Matt to do that,
I think we should double that,
processing.
150.
But how many people ever really ask for a permit? They just go and do it?
Yeah.
There's a couple,
Well, catch them.
yeah, there's a couple, but
We haven't had a problem, we did it a couple years ago, we had a big problem with it violating the Linda's law too. So we put some teeth into it. And we did issue tickets.
I'll see that, Jim.
And then, page 5. Sorry, but
No, good.
to go through this thing one time, not, down on line 93, the license fee for transient facilities. Now, I don't even know what that entails, but
That's pulled right out of that ordinance, so you'd have to look at that ordinance to,
transient facility would be. Anyway, I think they should be doubled also. $10 goes, well, even more. $10 would go to 25 and $10, 25 per week, or $10 fraction of a week.
All right.
And the permit, line 96, you guys can disagree with this. I mean, I don't want to be the only one setting these prices, but. Line 96, I would think that we'd want $200 for assemblage of large group of peoples. Now, we must have one of those in London every year. Do they pay? Have they been paying?
I don't think so.
No.
No.
They didn't even ask for a permit this year.
Well, should raise that to 200 for one day. And $100
Yeah.
each additional day. And then required bond, $35 per person. Again, that's a max, bond, so they're only paying a percentage of that. So. Garbage costs, that one you changed to
Yep. okay.
210,
Yep.
that's correct. Kennel license, I don't know how this operates exactly, but is kennel, that's on the bottom of the page, last item. Kennel license, we're charging $35 for 12 dogs or fewer dogs. Is that every year, or is that the one-time application when they get their conditional
Every
use?
year.
Every year. Well, I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I think that's pretty cheap. I would like to see at least 50.
50? Yeah, that's not good.
Page 7. At the tanks, line 128, says tanks up to 1,000 gallons is 0. I think that meant to be 100, isn't it? Why would you let, because it's got to be 100.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a mistake. You feel okay about the line 140 fee in lieu of land dedication at 2,000? I guess that's, or you want to raise that 2,500?
I like that idea.
2,500.
And that goes into that segregated park fund then.
Yeah.
We haven't had any for a long time.
No. We haven't raised it for a long time either. Driveway and culverts, I don't know, Dave, that's more your permit, that's the next page, 8, line 157, or 155.
We need to make sure that it covers the cost of the time that Dave puts into checking these
You
things.
can, you can set that one.
You know, I don't know, I get a lot of complaints at $50, but I see no reason why it couldn't go to 100.
Okay, that was easy.
But then now, Robin, we have to get the red applications all redone too, once this is adopted.
Yeah, we do need to print more applications,
Yeah.
and, because there's a lot of copying costs that go into when they print them
Right.
off the internet, so there's definitely costs.
Down below on placement of homes, we've got, I can't read the line number, 123.5, 124, somewhere's in there. It's $50 late fee and $100 or $50 for the application permit, and the late fee is 100. I was 75 and 150 maybe.
It's on page 8.
I'm still on page 8,
Okay,
up from the bottom 3-4 lines. Application and permit fee.
Yeah. So is that the same as a building placement, which I thought that was $25, wasn't it, what everybody's been? Or is this
This is for a, yeah, placement.
structures on parcels?
That's the permit to come before the plan commission, right?
Right, yeah. To get-
You thought it was 25?
Yeah, I thought it was, but
think
That-
that may have been an old number.
Yeah, it could have been very well. Might have been the last one I ever paid. So yeah, that's, what do you want to go to 100?
75 and
75?
150. Page 10 of 10, Robin suggested
Special event.
special events from 60 to 100.
I think we need to consider our actual costs of whether or not our police department's participating and helping, or time as a board reviewing it, things like that.
I'm okay with it. I know there's a couple townships that are 500.
100?
Yep,
100.
I'm good.
This deputy clerk, what's,
That was something that Sarah had asked for help with the elections. I don't plan on needing a deputy clerk. I'll utilize the election workers and myself.
We can still leave it in.
Yeah, it allows us some flexibility, so
okay.
if it becomes necessary.
Special assessment letter.
And that's the item that was listed earlier in, this is a separate line, so I can strike it here. We can list
Okay.
it in that first section where that duplicate tax bill portion was listed as well.
All right. And the fire sign, we already discussed that.
Good idea.
It's 125.
Is that enough?
Okay.
Nice job. I don't know how much revenue you harvested.
Now it's
You want to go to 150 or 120?
So we have a motion on the floor, correct?
Yeah, what do you want to do? You want to go to 150?
I do.
Yeah, Jim wants to go to 150 on the fire signs and posts because we have to pay the county to put them up.
Right, and that's kind of I kind of gave you some of those numbers and
Yeah, no.
it depends. Okay,
All right, let's switch that. Change that. Okay, we have a motion on the floor, do we not?
And did we get a second?
I'll second it.
Okay.
To approve to adopt the resolution
With the revised.
2019-1210. Is there any discussion on that?
motion, did you motion or did?
I don't know. I'll accept the responsibility
Okay.
of motioning to pass resolution 2019-1210.
With the revised fee schedule?
The revised fee schedule
Dave's.
and the building inspection fee schedule.
There you
And
go.
the second,
I will second it.
and then all in favor of approving the general fee schedule
Resolution.
resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, the same sign.
Can I ask a question?
Yes,
Like for the kennel license, now, tax bills have been sent out with the fees, so when is that change gonna be?
As soon as,
The
it
next
will be
time.
effective upon passage of this resolution and posting of resolution, which I'll do tomorrow.
Maybe next year.
Next year, Sharon.
Okay,
For the kennel license portion of it?
yeah.
Okay.
okay.
That's gonna cause a little confusion, but
Well,
we'll work into it.
yeah.
All right. Item G, discussion and decision on resolution for the building inspector to collect fees for the town.
And we already took care of
We
that in
did
this
care of that.
resolution, so we're good.
All right. Item H, discussion and decision on payroll service providers. I'll let you lead off on the discussion, Rob.
Okay, so sometime in the last few years, it was switched over to SAMP, which are nice people to work with. I just don't feel like they're able to provide us the service that we really need. Good price. I can't go in and get the reports as I need them. I have to explain to them what I need and have them create a report, which is a bit cumbersome. as well as some of the withholdings time frame. It's difficult to balance, which makes it very hard to be transparent in our accounting. And they're probably following the laws as needed. It's just with our municipal accounting and the way we balance our books, it was much cleaner when we used to use the payroll company, which you have a proposal in front of you of how much it's gonna cost. It is definitely gonna be more. I will be able to enter the payroll myself and be able to print out reports as soon as I'm done entering it. Right now, we have to wait until they process it based on their time frame and availability to actually process it. Sometimes it's the same day, sometimes it's 3 days later. And that again, too, makes it very difficult for Sharon to finish her processes before each monthly meeting. So between the timing of when the processes can happen, the availability of reports to be built the way I need to see them to do my work, we might have to just pay a little bit more to get a better service. Or a service that better fits us, I should say.
Well, I think it's been very frustrating the last several months, so I think it's time that we made some kind of a decision. Look here on page 7 of 16 in this packet, there's some charges here.
And I was able to get them down, their normal monthly rate was $100. And
Yeah.
I said, well, I'm bringing us possibly back to you guys to provide service. And I have also started another municipality with them for service, and I referred 2 other municipalities to them. I said, I think you could do better on the price, and they did. So the monthly went down to 85 rather than 100, which is better. We do have a per employee charge of $4 for each active employee for each payroll run. So if there's an officer that's not gonna put a payroll or a timesheet in for that month, I have to deactivate them, so we don't have that $4 charge. And then the W-2 charges at the end of the year.
At the end of the year charges.
They'll be doing the plan commission too,
Yes.
Yes.
so
So
everybody gets paid.
May, I think, is gonna be the month that you're gonna see a lot of payroll costs, because you'll have election workers, you'll have the plan commission. The other months, it should taper down to fewer employees each time.
No, I think we gotta do it just to be able to keep track of everything. I think the end of the year service is, I mean, that would be comparable.
Is it, I wasn't able to find the information from the past years.
And then there's a one-time startup fee, right?
Right, and that's basically getting us set up in the system again and getting all the employees in.
How do you guys feel about it?
Whatever's easier for Robin
Well, this
and more complete. And this works for you, Robin?
It does. The other benefit to this is it's gonna save me a lot of time from doing spreadsheet that I use to create a manual journal entry into QuickBooks. They give us a download that all I do is I import it, and all the numbers fall in the place of our chart of accounts. So,
It should be a lot easier. And then we need to accept this.
I'll make a
today.
motion to approve the, what is it? Contract with Technology Personal Committed, TPC?
the payroll
Payroll?
company. Yep.
Yeah, the payroll company.
I'll second that. Is there any discussion?
When will this take effect?
We'll get it going right away. The first month, we may still have to have SAMF do the payroll, but what they'll do is they'll take the information that we have from whatever months SAMF still has to do payroll for us, and they'll load that information
mail
in.
it.
That's part of that $400 to get that in. But this is a good time to start this up, because there'll be very little that they have to add into it for a full year's information.
So we won't have to do any,
I'll be
thing
able
ours-
to take the
what-
records that we have, but I know SAMF actually just contacted me about it the other day about all the tax law changes that people may want to redo their W-4s to update however they want those to be
Yeah.
because of all the changes, so.
well, I was thinking more of the automatic deposits to banks, credit cards, whatever. Is that gonna be taken care of?
Yes.
Okay,
I should have all of yours on file yet to be able to do that portion of it with.
all right.
Should be no problem. And if there is, we can reach out and figure it out.
Yep.
Okay,
Alright.
call the question.
All in favor of approving the payroll service provider contract, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and all opposed, the same sign. Thanks for your work on that, Robin. Item I, discussion and decision on the computer equipment, software, and IT service for the clerk's computer.
Okay, and I know Tori is here. He is willing to be our IT specialist for the town.
I wondered what was up with him. You got your finger in about a million things, don't you? Thank you, thank you.
So this is part of the grant that I applied for getting a new computer and IT support to keep the security up to grade for the elections requirements now, so.
Yeah, and Robin had sent me information, I looked it up. It's all relatively straightforward security stuff for the computer, just monitoring, mostly monthly monitoring for updates, for maintenance, for things like that they require. So I've gone through that. It's all stuff that I've done before for a lot of companies in town. Kind of, I guess, a little backup history about me just as far as security stuff goes. I've worked for the Department of Veterans Affairs over at the hospital, the computer work for them. United Cerebral Palsy in Madison, which is health records, things like that. And then my restaurant and credit card security and things like that over there. So familiar with security and things like that when it comes to the computers. The stuff they require, again, is pretty straightforward. I do a program on the computer, monitors it for me, and then I also check in monthly or remote in, do any maintenance, check logs, make sure there's no security threats. I signed up with the state's email list to get notifications from them if there's any problems, that they, if anything is out there they're aware of, so they can let me know and I can go and check the computer, make sure there's no problems there. So I'm all signed up with them for that. Doing similar stuff over at the village of Rockdale, over south of Cambridge, so same kind of thing over there. And like I said, besides that, it's mostly just a monthly support package for the computer, make sure it's up to par every month and that there's no problems with it. So.
Great, good. Well, thanks you two for working on this.
No problem.
What's your pleasure, gentlemen?
Well, what are we looking at, Robin, here? The ones highlighted in
So-
yellow?
Yeah, I can go over that a little bit quick for pricing and stuff.
Yeah, pricing. Let's see, so the, I gotta make sure I got the right ones here. This is the old stuff. Hang on.
Here's the monthly one.
The monthly was 45.
45.
Yep, and then there's initial setup of $240, which the grant for the IT service side of it is $500. So the grant will cover the cost of the initial setup, the $240, as well as some of the monthly costs going forward through the year.
Good.
And then the other side of it, unless, do you have any other questions about the IT side?
So we have the grant.
We have the grant.
Okay.
We got $1,100 to split between the IT services and a new computer.
Okay.
Part of that too, just as a side note, is I include a basic service with that, so if she's having any little problem, I can remote in and take a look before I have to run out here, and just a basic first attempt is included in that $45, so,
Okay.
just to kind of preventative maintenance, things like that, try
Sure.
to save a service call. So.
And the IT support is a new thing for the state elections for security. You know, obviously, election security is a huge hot topic right now, so this is how they're going to guarantee that we're meeting at least the minimum by having us have IT services like this.
So you want to go with the Lenovo, that computer, the 469?
The Lenovo, oh, so you're moving on to the computer
Oh.
side of it, yep. So the quote that I gave you tonight includes the QuickBooks on there. And I talked to Bev, who's the rep from Vanguard, and she agreed that Lenovo has enough memory, whatever we need for running the QuickBooks, which is separate from the elections. The cost of the laptop, the Lenovo itself, is what's going to be covered by the grant. The Microsoft Home Office and then the QuickBooks, that's going to be separate costs from us, separate from the elections. But the reason I went with Vanguard is because they are the state vendor. They're certified as a state vendor, so they give us a better rate, and then they meet the criteria that the state has for this election security grant. But yeah, the Lenovo, I think, is going to be a good fit.
Okay.
Oh,
So when it comes, when you buy the software for the QuickBooks, do you have to re-enter all that in, or will it take?
you can take a backup and transfer that,
So,
yeah.
okay, all right.
I've done it before, so.
I wouldn't do it, but it'd be a headache for you.
And then we have Tori, if we really get it up. It is nice to know that there is a little safety net with someone that can help.
It's someone who's your constituent. All right, so we're looking for a motion to approve both of these invoices. Is that what you're saying? Yes.
Please.
Looking for a motion to approve the purchase agreement with Vanguard Computers and the initial setup and monthly support, IT support from Tech Solutions. I will motion to accept the Vanguard computer quote dated 12/6/19 and the Tech Solution quote dated 11/18/19.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of approving the purchases, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And all opposed, the same sign. I have one of these expense sheets.
And I do too.
You're up here.
What? Ms. Robbins. Okay. Correspondence, item 11.
Nothing earth shattering, but I do have, I'll have to put on the agenda for January, the Humane Society's contract needs to be renewed. So I'll get you copies of that. So that'll be on the January agenda. That's basically all I have.
Okay.
Do you have more?
Anything else you guys can think of?
Yeah, can we get change the meeting time from,
Yes, we
We
talked
already
about
noted
that.
that one
Next.
too, yep.
We noted that. Would you like to be meet at 7:30 or 7?
7?
Okay, that's what I thought you were gonna say.
Next month, 7.
Well, we gotta make it, we gotta put it on the agenda and pass it before, yeah.
All right, item 12, meeting schedule, January 7th, Joint Rock Lake Committee, 6 PM, January 7th, Planning Commission at 8 PM, January 14th, regular town board meeting at 8 PM. I would make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I will second it.
All in favor? Woo-hoo.
So
Thank
Jim,
you.
you're gonna